Blitz on 2 is sponsored by Charleston County Parks, Charleston Heating and Air, Morgan & Morgan, and Steen Enterprises.
And with that, hey everybody, I'm Mark Morgan. I'm one tall guy. It's that time again, another terrific slate of high school football games right here on the Blitz on 2.
Yeah, that is right. Welcome in. I'm the other tall guy, and I go by Dan Fanning. We're into week 8 and in the thick of region play, the big one in Class 5A, West Ashley, back in Dorchester County, taking on my grandma's alma mater, Summerville. And it's the Blitz on 2 game of the week. And the Wildcats playing in honor of A.D. Jeff Phipps, who passed away earlier this week. Scoreless first quarter. Somerville's first drive, Campbell McCurry, a dart over the middle on third down to Quintrell Pettiford. 12 does the rest. 62-yard pitch and catch is 7-0 Green Wave. Later in the first quarter, Wave on to punt. Rutrow snap over the punter's head. He has to fall on it, and that sets up the Wildcats in great field position. Second quarter now. West Ashley converts that into 6. What can Brown do for you? It is Kevin Brown. In from a yard out. The PAT was blocked, though. It is 7-6 Wave. Watch this. Ensuing kickoff, Marquez spells, fields it at the 11, cuts on a dime, and then shows us why he is going to the Shrine Bowl. Number 18 turns on the Jets, and it is intro deuces. Marquez spells, goes 89 yards for the house call. That makes it 14-6. I tell you, Coach Rafferty was right there on the sidelines. He says, Dan, I told you he was fast.
Every Friday, Dan. He does it every Friday.
And we go to the board. Marquez keeps running all the way to the locker room as West Ashley falls for a second week in a row as the Green Wave continues to roll 34-13. Now also staying in 5A, another good matchup as Goose Creek and Cane Bay take on one another.
That's right. The Cobras looking for their 5th straight victory, facing a 1-win Goose Creek squad. To Goose Creek High we go. Gators taking on Cane Bay, as we said, just under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Tie game at 14. The Cobras fumble the ball, and it's recovered by the Gators' Jaden Roper. That puts the Gators in position to move ahead. Drew Moore, friend of the show, takes advantage of that opportunity right here. Throws it to his teammate, Evan Daniels. There's Evan. That is 6. Touchdown Gators. Cobras successfully, though, blocked the extra point right there. Every point means something. 2014 at the end of the first half. To the board we go. Look at here.
Wow, we might be heading up to
Goose
Creek.
You may have, we'll talk more about that later. My partner may be prescient. Goose Creek beats Cane Bay 36-21.
Now back to Dorchester County we go. The Patriots hosting Stall. The matchup right here, Trey Ryan with the handoff. Excuse me, that's not Trey Ryan. That is Mr. Brown, the First Baptist transfer, with a 12-yard gain up the middle. 4D cashes in on the drive. Zion Reynolds, he does it all. Goes around the left side, and he says, how you doing? Zion in for the touchdown, 7-0 Patriots. Then Reynolds again, 17 yards this time. He is not in the end zone, but a nice gain there by Mr. Zion. Then later on, Zagarion Cornell scores from inside the 5. That makes it 14-0 Patriots, as Richard Todd would say. Stall with it here. Back to pass. Picked off here by number 7. We're not sure if that's Connor or Chris. Either way, number 7 rumbles into the end zone.
Though.
There you go. Number 7 gives him 6. The field goal, the extra point, gave them 7. 21-0 Fort D, and to the board we go, and no trouble at all, as my grandma, the Somerville alum, would say. Fort D rolls 48-0. Now, a wild week last week for Ashley Ridge. They get handled on Monday by Fort D, and then they turn around and hand West Ashley their first loss on Friday.
That's right, and they were our WOW winners for this week. The Swamp Foxes making the trip to Berkeley this evening to take on the Stags. Check out the highlights from this one, and here we go. Stags trailing 7-0 first quarter. It's McCray Driggers to Tavon Frazier. Watch this, back of the end zone, nicely done. Touchdown Berkeley, that tied the game at 7. Really nice grab, back of the end zone. Special teams are big, so are flags, but special teams are big. Watch the Swamp Foxes here. They get this punt block ball scooping around on the ground right there. Scoop and score by Tayshawn Gavins. 15 yards for the score. He races into the end zone, 14-7 Berkeley after that. Had to show you this, Dan. I mean,
Staggy,
look at this. Wait, no, he's coming. He's coming. He's up in our grill right here. Back off, dude. To the board we go. A tight one. Ashley Ridge emerges with a 1-point road win, 21-20.
And that is right. Tonight was homecoming at Stratford High in Goose Creek, as Christian likes to say. The Knights hosting Wando for homecoming. Check this out. The Knights QB Jay-Sean Davis has the ball, starts running. Where's the ball? It's a double reverse pass to Freddie Alston for the first touchdown. Raymond Owens all over it, 7-0 Knights. Then take a look, as Raymond says. Jay-Sean Davis intends to throw the ball to Amari Clark, but the Warriors say, not so fast, my friend, and intercept the pass. Makes his way downfield before being tackled by the Knights. We can't tell. That might be Mikey Rosa, but we can't tell the number. A couple of minutes later, Knights back with it on O. Jay-Sean Davis, as the coach gets in Raymond's way into. Anyway, hands it to Jalen Berry now. 13-0 Knights with 4 minutes left in the second quarter before Raymond went over to Goose Creek. Anyway, Stratford defends home
You're just
turf.
like saying that, I think.
Yeah, because Christian likes it upstairs.
Oh,
Stratford holds on to win at home on homecoming 2014, your final. Now, J.I., you know, has been one of the best teams in the Lowcountry all season. Another impressive win last week against May River.
That is correct, Dan. The Trojans, with only a final play walk-off loss to Cane Bay on their resume, otherwise perfect, they traveled to Bluffton this evening. Going to show you highlights from that game. A pink out at Bluffton High for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. 14-10, James Island at the half. Who got that push right there? It was Junior Maxwell for the touchdown. 21-10 Trojans. Then Montre Scott takes the handoff. Nearly untouched into the end zone. J.I. doing some work. 28-10 Trojans. Bluffton trying to mount a comeback. Brandon Bryant looking for a receiver, but it's picked off by Jaden Whaley. He will take it 70 yards to the house. Nicely done. Then Amore Scott finishes off fourth touchdown in the third quarter for the Trojans. That's a 22-yard scamper. 42-10 James Island. As we said, J.I. doing some work on the road. To the board we go, and that single loss is still the only one of the season for the Trojans. 56-10 is your final. And we're just getting started here on the Blitz Zone 2. We're going to step away for just a moment and catch our breath.
That is
At least I am.
Also, we're going to do the Trojan Rumble during the break as well.
Right,
More highlights and more scores from across the Lowcountry. Oceanside, Hanahan, and others try to continue their winning ways. Stay with us.
And welcome back to the Blitz on 2. I'm Mark Morgan. The hits just keep on coming.
Yeah, that is right. Oceanside Collegiate dropped down to Class 2A this season, and they recently took over the top spot in the state. Land Sharks trying to avoid the upset this evening. An academic magnet hosting OCA off of Montague Avenue.
I kind of like that mascot.
So do I. Devin Yard in at QB buys time in the pocket, looking for somebody to throw to. Rifles one to Trey Brown. I guess UPS is busy tonight, because what can Brown do for you? Another big gain. That sets up the Swisher Sweet. Tucker Swisher takes it in to increase the lead to 35. Then Tucker isn't done just before halftime. Handoff from Yard and 22. Rumbles down inside the 10. That would set up another touchdown. Hard run there by Tucker Swisher. And we go to the board in Oceanside Collegiate. They roll over Academic Magnet this evening by the final score of 55-0.
Over in Mount Pleasant, it was homecoming at Lucy Beckham. Bengals taking on the Seahawks of Hilton Head. Here we go. Seahawks trail 6-0. Bengals doing it, or trying to move the ball, but TJ Morgan comes up with an interception and Hilton Head takes over. That drive will stall, though. There's a Hilton Head fan right there. Bengals with it. Going the other way, it's Chalmers Ballard to Charles Bird. Bird with some nice moves, breaking some tackles. Yeah, 30 yards on the play before Charles Bird is knocked out of bounds. That drive goes into the second quarter, and it led to this missed field goal. Still 6-0, though. Bengals on top. Hilton Head with it. Owen Bay scrambling to his left, fires off his back foot. Riley McCracken, give the kid some credit.
That was nice.
Terrific grab in the back of the end zone, 35 yards on the play, 7-6. Seahawks go ahead. Then the Bengals with it. They go up top. Ballard looking for A.J. Cutt. Where is he? Oh, boy. He's as wide open as I am right now. 55 yards for the score. That made it 13-7 home team. Bengals whooping it up. This one was tight throughout. To the board we go. Lucy Beckham emerges a 2-point winner. Your final 19-17.
And like we mentioned, the Hawks of Hanahan try to continue their winning ways, hosting Battery Creek this evening. Kayvon Rivera, the Bell Cow, a gain of 8 tough yards is number 5. Starting to get the legs churning. Then Jaden Cummings, Braden Joseph, buys time. He's one deep. Braden hauls it in over 2 defenders. 45 yards for the score. 7-0 Hanahan. Battery Creek starting to get their O going. Nick Underwood. A nice gain after the extra point is up and good. That made it 7-0. Nick Underwood. A nice gain of 25 yards rumbling down the right side past the first down marker. Twist and spins down inside the 10. Then same drive. Underwood rumbles in from a few yards out. 15 in for 6. That made it 7-7. But that's all that Battery Creek could do this evening as we go to the board. And the Hawks of Hanahan fly high over Battery Creek, 38-7. Now coming off a bye week, Philip Simmons and North Charleston both trying to get back into the win column.
That is true out on Daniel Island, where the Iron Horses hosted the Cougars of North Charleston. To the board we go with this one. Real quick score we want to show you. Philip Simmons beat the Cougars tonight 42-6.
And that is right. Downtown, Earl Brown Sr. in attendance. They're honoring the 1984 Burke basketball team that went undefeated 30-0 and won the state title. Bulldogs moving it on their first drive as you look
check out the ring. Wait for the ring. Oh my.
It's all about the bling bling. Bulldogs moving here on the first drive. Tavion Snipe with the keeper around the left side. Snipe 15 yards before he is knocked out of bounds. Burke playing inspired football with Earl Brown Sr. in the building. Next play, Jalen Singleton Brown takes the handoff, squirts through the middle, and he is gone. Number 2 in for 6. The try for 2 was no good. Bulldogs now knocking on the door. Caleb Brown looking for the end zone. Knocked down inside the 1. Next play, Brown takes it in. The 2-point conversion was no good. That tied things at 6. But the Bobcats with it one more time. Brown looking for an open man, and he hits Nathan Monaghan. I tell you, UPS very busy this evening.
Yeah.
A bunch of guys, what can Brown do for you? 22 yards in for the score. Mark Morgan on the moving pictures. That made it 12-6. Baptist Hill, and we go to the board.
The shaky pictures.
The shaky
There was
pictures.
apparently an earthquake there at Stony Field.
We're still working with Mark, folks. Anyway, Baptist Hill victorious on the road. That's all we can ask for, 36-6.
More highlights, everybody. It is Cross and Military Magnet. Trojans with it. The pass right here to Jamez Way, and he is doing his thing down to the 12-yard line right there before he's finally brought down. Then Santori Jones does the rest. Touchdown Cross. Trojans look good tonight, and boy, does this set up a big game for next Friday. More on that next week right here on News 2 Sports. Let's go to the board. That made it 35-0. 42-0 is your final. Cross over MMA.
And speaking of more, it was homecoming night also at Pinewood Prep. We have our own homecoming queen in the newsroom. Here's a hint. She's from the Charlotte area. Pinewood up 28-0 at the half. Panthers continuing to play some D in the third. Dolphins aired out. Grady Fuller wrestles away the interception. Nicely done. 35-7. Now in the fourth. Will Watson deep to White Novak. Pretty connection. Puts the Panthers down inside the 10. Then a few plays later, it is elementary, my dear Watson. Will calls his own number, and he dials up 6. That made it 41-7. Woo! And to the board we go. Pinewood defends home turf on homecoming by the final of 48-7.
It looked a little cool there. Was it?
A
Was
little
it cool?
chilly,
I saw
a
some
little chilly.
breath. You can see fall is here, folks. You don't need me to give the weather, right? That's what Rob Fowler's for. One final timeout right here on the Blitz on 2.
Yeah, that is right. A look at some of the scores we missed and also our play of the night. Who came away with the honor? Find out on the other side of this break.
And welcome back to yet another special edition of the Blitz on 2 with Dan Fanning. I'm Mark Morgan. Let's check out a couple scores, shall we, Dan? Loris shut out Georgetown 48-0.
Yeah, that is right. Woodland, they continue. I think they may be undefeated.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Also, Woodland, the Wolverines beat Wade Hampton 21-14.
And May River, an easy winner over Colleton County. Your final there, 48-7.
Also, some more scores to show you from the Skeezer ranks. Colleton Prep, they stay undefeated as well. I want to say they're 8-0. Colleton Prep wins 22-0.
And Williamsburg Academy also, I think, unbeaten 54-27. That school's a juggernaut.
As for our play of the night, and once again, he must have got upset that we didn't talk about him last week. It is Mr. Marquez Spells
We didn't?
from
We
Summerville.
talk about him every night.
He fields it at the 11, cuts on a dime. And then he shows West Ashley the tail lights as he is gone. Marquez spells the Shrine Bowl selection, showing us why. Hall tails it 89 yards for the score. Marquez, my word, let somebody else have a chance at the play of the night. Marquez spells, does it one more time.
Wow, and that was one of the great region matchups tonight with the 5A guys. And then if we look 2 weeks ahead, it'll be Fort D in Somerville. That could decide a lot of things. I know you spoke with Coach Rafferty this week, and he said that the winner of that region will end up hosting a ton of games, maybe as many as 3.
Yeah, and kind of you touched on it earlier in the night in the A block, some news terminology about Goose Creek. The Gators, even though they kind of struggled a little bit in the non-region play, they're 2-0 in the region, and may have to call up Coach Weinstead. We may be heading up to Goose Creek later, I guess, next week.
And one of the huge games next week, Cross and Baptist Hill. More on that as the week progresses. I'm Mark Morgan. Thanks for joining us so much for Week 8 of the Blitz on 2.
That's right. I'm Dan Fanning. Also, thanks to our director and Somerville alum, Gerard Capers. Christian, Goose Creek. Have a great weekend.